Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Welcome to another day in paradise and welcome to another video about Cuba. Today I'm going to tell you how much we spent in the 24 days we have been in the countries, what we spend it on, and I put that in different categories and we are going to sum it up at the end and then divide it by the 2 people we were, so you have the cost per person, and then I'm going to divide it by the number of days, so you have a total cost per person per day, so maybe you can calculate your budget before going there. So without further ado, 100 pesos, $20 per person, 200 pesos, 100 pesos per person, so it's about $1, cost $25, $80, like 100 to 200 pesos. First category we are going to tackle is transportation, and we start that off with the flights, which were $1,036.94. I'm going to exclude them from the total amount because that might differ a lot. We flew in from Panama City, so that was way cheaper than if we would have flown from back home from Germany. So yeah, that always depends on you and where you're coming from. So I'm not going to put that into play because that's not really comparable. Cuba was one of the few countries we didn't rent a car or anything at all. We only rented bikes once because it was only a couple of dollars. I included those into the next point, which is bus, taxi and shuttle, and the bikes we rented, and that comes to a total of $327.25. So that's the total amount we spent for the whole round trip. If you want to know more about that, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, because in the next video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about how to travel Cuba, and there I'm going to include the route we took as well. Next topic is accommodation, and we spent a total of $1,574.12 on that. We almost always stayed in casa particulares, so that's like Airbnb where people rent out rooms or part of the houses or the whole house by themselves on themselves. And in the end we spent a couple of nights in Varadero in an all-inclusive hotel, which was about $400. So the $1,100 is for the whole rest of the trip. Next category is food, and that's not an easy one, and we spent $374.33 in restaurants for that, because that's mainly the main option available. Because supermarkets we only spent $33.67 because in most places you can't really get to them. We also had in Havana, we had an occasion where we couldn't buy anything, but that's more for the next video. So yeah, that's the money we spend on food. By the way, almost all the casa particulares included breakfast, and sometimes you were able to book like dinner or something for a couple of dollars extra. So we tried to do that as well, because most of the casa particulares are rented by like older women, and they cook perfectly delicious food, Cuban food, and you don't want to miss out on that. So maybe use the chance if you can. Yet again, we almost spent the same amount on activities, because that comes to a total of $350 divided into entrance fees, which was $60.33. Also tours, like getting somewhere or getting into, and as a combined package that was $236.67. And also I did a dive once, like a double dive, and Sabrina went on a snorkeling trip, and that was $58.33 in total. So dives were really cheap. It was like $25 per dive and about $8 for the snorkeling. So that was really, really good. I would recommend that if you haven't checked the playlist yet. There's a dive video in that as well, where I talk about the experience and the downsides that comes with the little cheap price. And like always, I also have a rest category, which includes the SIM cards we bought for $20.83, including internet for the whole time. And also we bought souvenirs, which was $5. And the last one is laundry, but as that was always done in the Casa Particulares and we paid a little extra, I don't really know how much we spent on that. So that was already included in the accommodation tab before. Now if we sum everything up, we are going to end up on $2,690.54 for the whole 24 days for the both of us. Then we are going to divide that by 2 people and going to end up on $1,346.27, which still sounds like a lot, but if you break that down to the costs per day, we are going to end up on $56.05, which was the best one of all the countries we did on this trip. And as a bonus, if you do this and if you plan smarter than we did, you can even break those costs further down. Because the problem of Cuba and the money and paying system there is, officially you're not allowed to take foreign currency with you into the country, but in reality you have to, because nobody is going to accept the Cuban peso over there. Or if they do, they will give you a bad rate. So we lost a lot of money on that because we got the money for quite a bad rate. And if we transferred it back for paying, then we got a bad rate as well. So for each dollar, we got 120 pesos. Then later, when we paid, for each dollar to pay, we had to give 170 pesos. Sometimes that differed a little, but plus minus you can calculate with that, which makes it 50 pesos lost on every dollar. And 50 pesos is about 40% just because of the exchange rate. So that doesn't apply to all the money we spent, because in some cases we had some dollars left, we borrowed some money from someone, and I found a solution to get money for a better exchange rate. And as I said, it's not always 120 to 1 and not always 1 to 170. But I think to lose 30% is a realistic take. So plan smarter. Plan your budget, maybe this video helps you with that, and then you know how much money to take with you, and then you don't have to deal with exchange rates at all. So this is the benefit you got from this video, and in exchange I would like you to click on the like button, as I said, maybe hit the subscribe button as well if you found this helpful and don't want to miss out on the next video, which is about more tips about traveling the countries to get around, what to have in mind in your planning phase, what not to miss out on, what maybe to skip, and about our whole experience in total. So I would like to see you in the next one. Until then, have a good time, enjoy life, have a good one, and maybe watch more videos over here. And right, this is another option to subscribe, so maybe use it. See ya.